God truly blessed me with choosing to play my college basketball for Coach Denny Crum in the University of Louisville. I could not have played for a better coach or a better human being.
2 national championships, 675 wins, and a lifetime of service to our community. Tonight, Louisville is remembering and celebrating the life of the legendary basketball coach, Denny Crum.
I got calls from people I hadn't heard from 10, 15 years. And the irony is they all started out with, "I'm sorry for your loss." And then they would say something about Coach Crum and how he had influenced them, whether it was how he coached the game or whether it was a word that he said. And I thought about that and I said, that is a life not lived in vain.
It was pretty apparent the effect that we had on folks around the country. And I mean, I fielded hundreds of phone calls, text messages, emails of just what Coach Crum had meant to them.
While his accomplishments on the court gained respect, it was his demeanor as a man and role model that made him beloved by thousands, not just here in Louisville, but across the nation.
Right now here at 5, we are covering his funeral, and then we're going to take you outside the celebration of life downtown, which is going to start at 7. Denny Crum died last week at the age of 86.
Today, he was laid to rest during a private ceremony at Cave Hill Cemetery after his funeral at Southeast Christian Church. We have team coverage on all-day celebrations of Coach Denny Crum. Looking ahead to tonight's celebration of life, Sports Director Ken Spencer is at KFC. But
first, WHAS11's Grace McKenna and our senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton covered the funeral at Southeast Christian Church. And Grace, some incredible stories from former players today.
There really were, Doug. And, you know, even as we gathered here at a very public, very large funeral, Jerry Jones, a former assistant coach under Coach Crum, pointed out something that I think is pretty poignant. He said that Coach Crum treated everybody as an equal. He didn't see himself as the Denny Crum. Jones said everybody was better for knowing him. Speakers shared stories of laughter and life, fishing and basketball, all the things that Denny Crum loved. Some noting that in all things, he was a coach.
Told me I didn't know how to drive. Taught me how to fish. Told me to improve my golf swing. So on Tuesday, what I reflected on, I decided I would be better the next day, because Coach Crum always said, you got what you deserve today, so do better tomorrow.
John chapter 14.
We also heard from former players today who said there's a special bond between them, and it was Crum and his legacy that kept them connected. They also spoke directly about Susan, Crum's wife, Roger Berkman, telling her that she kept Denny from giving up. There were a few other words, too, that spoke out to me today that I want to mention. Junior Bridgman saying that Crum's was a life not lived in vain. Live in Louisville, Grace McKenna, WHAS 11 on your side.
Grace, thank you very much. And take a look. This is what greeted the family of Denny Crum as he was taken to his final resting place at Cave Hill Cemetery. Earlier this afternoon, the Cardinal banner flying high above the entrance to Cave Hill, thanks to Metro Public Works employees hoisting it to honor the late coach. The family held a private burial for Coach Crum at Cave Hill at around 4 this afternoon. While Denny Crum never coached a game at the KFC Center, tonight the arena is going to have several thousand fans in it for the celebration of life, honoring his devotion to Louisville and the university.
Sports Director Ken Spencer joins us now live from right outside KFC Center.
Well, Kent, U of L's been offering these free tickets to this to claim last week. Do you know how many people are expected to attend there a little later?
Well, Doug, so far, the response has been so great for this celebration of life. More than 8,500 tickets have been claimed so far. And what fans are going to see inside the KFC Yum Center tonight, Denny's wife, Susan Sweeney Crum, will speak to the audience, as will several other former players that played at Louisville under Denny Crum. This truly will be a celebration of Denny Crum's life and legacy. This occasion, while sad, will bring together an entire fan base and, of course, many of those former players who played at U of L under Denny Crum. To be a fly on the wall of some of those conversations and old stories with those players. Former guard Roger Berkman says the lessons that he learned from his former coach extend much farther than the lines on a basketball court.
He wanted us to understand what an honor it was to be able to play here at the University of Louisville. for this community. And with that comes a heavy responsibility. And we've got to learn that we've got to give back. We've got to be able to give back to this community. So he would get everybody, involved in all the different fundraising events that he would be a part of.
And Berkman said when it came to his coach, he rarely said no to a request. When it comes to the end of this program, there will be a special thing at the very end that will take full crowd participation. It will be a fitting goodbye to a Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame person. Back to you.
And Kent, we want to ask, are you aware that there's more tickets left? If people are watching right now interested in grabbing a ticket and heading down there?
Yeah, Shay, as I said, I mean, since this process has really started last week, the demand for tickets has been so great that Louisville continues to expand the seating inside the KFC Yum Center. So as of right now, more than 8,500 tickets have been claimed so far, but yet there still seems to be some available if fans would still like to come and see this celebration of life down here in person.
All right, Kent, thank you very much. We'll see you tonight at 6. And I love how at part of the funeral today, Roger Berkman made everybody stand up and applause for Denny Crum and take a moment there. And if you missed that funeral for Coach Denny Crum this afternoon, you can watch the service on the WHAS11 YouTube page. We have it posted there. As for the 7 p.m. celebration of life, local stations are not allowed to live stream it due to rights with ESPN, but U of L is offering a link. Go to our story with the title, How to Watch the KFC Yum Center's Celebration of Life for Denny Crum. We've got it posted at WHAS11.com.
Well, such a nice shift in the weather today with that humidity dropping down. All weekend long, it felt like we were just seconds away from a downpour. The air was so thick.
I know it. Gardens needed that downpour, but it was nice to turn off those air conditioning units, Alden.
It was still a bit humid this morning, but thankfully after tomorrow we'll really start to notice things become a bit more comfortable for us here across the area. Let's look at some of those high temperatures from today, and only in the middle 70s here in Metro Louisville, 75 degrees, but some of our other communities were well into the 80s, and it's all because of that sunshine. Currently 75 degrees, so we're right at that high temperature. We do see some of that sunshine right now, but clouds are going to be hanging around with us through the rest of this evening and tonight, so it's not going to get totally clear. No rain falling at the moment either. We did have some decaying showers in southern Indiana earlier, about a couple of hours ago, but those have since long disappeared. For the rest of your Monday night, we'll notice those temperatures not really backing off it too much. Our lows will only be in the lower 60s. Those clouds will act like a little bit of a blanket and keep us from getting it too cool through the course of it tonight. But I am tracking a couple of different rounds of thunderstorms for tomorrow. Some of those could be on the strong to severe side around this time tomorrow afternoon. I'll break down the details on what threats those storms would pose. That's ahead.
Thank you very much, Alden. New information just in within the past hour about the fatal shooting yesterday at the Shively Animal Clinic. Shively police now say details indicate the potential for a self-defense claim.
And with that in mind, they are not arresting anyone at this time. It is a unique case that started with a fight right inside that well-known animal hospital. It happened Sunday evening at the clinic right off Dixie Highway. Police say they were called to the animal hospital on reports of a fight. When they got there, they found a man with a gunshot wound. Alexis Jones has been working to learn more about the victim and the circumstances that led to his death.
Shively Animal Shelter is back open after the coroner says 21-year-old Trent Taylor was killed here Sunday night. Loved ones say Taylor was a kind young man who always looked out for others. They said though he's gone, he died a hero. Family members say Taylor worked at the clinic and tried to stop the shooter from entering the building and hurting anyone else. Shively police say he was taken to U of L hospital where he died, adding officers were originally called to the clinic on reports of a fight inside.
The run was a report of an altercation inside of the building. While en route to the location, the run was upgraded to a shooting. Everyone is accounted for and there's not believed to be any danger to the community. Detectives say no one else was injured during the shooting. As of right now, no arrest will be made. Police say factors indicate the shooter may have acted in self-defense. In Shively, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
Shively police also have told us that any social media posts concerning a possible shooter are not credible. Police tell us they have everyone accounted for that was involved in the shooting. They assure us the public is not in danger.
A new update on a story we've been following since last week. Norton Healthcare is seeing serious impacts after what they're calling a cyber event that started last week. The cyber attack, Norton Healthcare system confirmed last Tuesday they received suspicious communication and in response disabled internet and email. At that time, they said appointments were not being impacted, but today we learned some patients were seeing procedures delayed. Norton says the cybersecurity team is working around the clock to resolve their issues.
And another horse has died at Churchill Downs. It happened over the weekend. Churchill said Rio Moon was euthanized after an injury right on the track. The 3-year-old colt, owned by Kyle Nagel and trained by Dale Romans, injured his front leg at the finish of race 6. Rio Moon is the 8th horse euthanized at the track this season. Wild on Ice, a Derby entrant, was euthanized after suffering injury to his leg right before the Derby.
Kentucky State Representative Lamine Swan has died. The Democrat and Lexington native represented District Number 93, which covers part of Fayette County. According to the ABC station in Lexington, Swan was hospitalized early last week for a medical emergency. Though there's no official word on his cause of death, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said Lamine was always smiling, leading with kindness while working to build a better Kentucky for all. He will be greatly missed. Arrangements are expected in the coming days. He was 45 years old.